AI actors, what are they, and why should they matter? What's up, guys? I am Glacier. If you don't know who I am, I'm just some random mofo on the internet that just so happens to play video games, okay? This is my other channel. I talk about a bunch of BS. Literally, I will talk about anything that just interests me. And the interest today is AI actors. You've heard of Tilly Norwood, probably. You know, this AI actor who apparently got some really big deal with Hollywood and it sparked the whole debate. That's kind of what I want to talk about. But before we do that, AI became a big thing in like 2022, 2023. I heard about it because I used to voice act and stuff. Yes. You're not gonna find me in any projects online, unfortunately. Yeah, a lot of projects just dropped. The reason I mentioned voice acting is because AI voiceovers were trained on people's works like mine without consent, like 99% of the time. I'm pretty sure voice acting wasn't the only thing. You had artists. I have many friends who are artists that probably had their works trained off of AI. And it was a big debacle back then. Everybody was running around with their heads cut off. Like, what are we gonna do now that AI is going to like take over all of our jobs? Which years later, not really, but you know, there might be a point where it gets there. I think it's kind of inevitable, unfortunately. But that leads me to talk about AI actors. Now, I'm sure I don't have to tell you guys that they were probably trained off of like a bunch of actors unconsensually. I don't know. Of course, take that with a little grain of salt, man. The fact that actors like Tilly Norwood are out here getting gigs and stuff, which is crazy to me, is the creator was defending Tilly Norwood's existence by saying they're not there to replace actors. They're there to fill in when the actors can't. The human actors can't do whatever it is because they're tireless and you can make them do anything. Which really made me think, like, what is the purpose of an AI actor, really? Like, I have no doubt in my mind that we are going to see AI movies and stuff in the near future. Oh, let me bring it down here real quick. But it's like, why? Just why? I really cannot fathom why you'd want an AI actor over a human actor. You know, like the emotion, like sure, you could probably make them have exaggerated faces and stuff, but is the voice gonna match? Is the action gonna match it? Is the action gonna match it, man? I thought, oh, they're just gonna be like side characters or background characters to fill in like a city drop or something. And you see like a bunch of people crossing those big streets like you see in New York and Tokyo, or like the big roads in India where everybody's just trying not to kill each other as they go about their business. But no, these AI actors are getting main roles, taking away, you know, a really good job that could get an actor's foot in the world of acting. Blah, 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 blah. How many times have I said acting already? I don't know. But besides AI acting taking away from humanity's potential to earn a living off their creativity once again, let's also talk about the ramifications of AI on the environment, right? Like, there's been a bunch of data centers being built or in talks of being built, and that raises up the cost of electricity in a bunch of neighborhoods around you and I. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to foot the bill. I'm not trying to have no $700,000 electricity bill. These data centers better supplement the heck out of our bills if they're gonna be, you know, using up all that electricity. Because oh, I hit the crud on my microphone. These things use a ton of energy. And I'm just thinking, at this point, why are we not using nuclear energy, right? Like, it's actually really safe. I remember watching this documentary on why nuclear energy became so, what's the word? My brain is an enigma. It became so stigmatized. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. It became so stigmatized that the government itself started making a bunch of strict rules and regulations to the point where nuclear plants could barely function because of them. And it was all because of some weird report or hoax, whatever word you want to use, I don't know. And so nuclear energy just did not become a thing. But that was like back in the 50s and 70s and crud. So now we're running off of like coal and all other sorts of like unrenewable energies. Oops, I probably hit my microphone again. And with AI data centers becoming a thing, now that stuff's going to be used up even more. The price of it's going to skyrocket. We're going to have to find an alternative at some point. So, hey, nuclear energy would probably be cool. I mean, wouldn't you like to pay, I don't know, $20, $30 or $50 for your electricity bill, if not $0, because nuclear energy can and is that good at producing the stuff, But I'm like, other than that, I don't really know why AI actors matter, or why we should care about AI acting. My stance on AI as a whole is that, it sucks that it was trained off of a lot of stolen work. Hardly anybody consented, if not nobody, consented to having their work used to train AI. But I do think it is here to stay. And I think, we're going to have to adapt at some point. And I also think that it actually does some good. Now, should AI be used for stuff like this at this moment? Probably not. I think it would be better off used to research like protein building for cancer research and stuff like that, right? That's a thing, right? Protein building, right? These humongous LLMs that can code and whatnot, like let's actually use it to better the lives of the people first before we start using it for these creative purposes. But see, that's kind of tricky too, because it's like, I also like the fact that, the creative minds all around the world can now just let their brain loose, Like, I know you've seen some of these like viral reels on Instagram and TikTok of these AI videos, Sora AI being the one thing. It's very scary how real some of these people look in the videos, these AI generated characters, I should say. But, the dead internet theory is definitely about to not be a theory. But, that's my take on it. I don't think AI actors should be a thing yet. And that Tilly Norwood thing, unfortunately, is not the only one in the pipeline. Apparently, there's dozens more, man. That lady that made Tilly Norwood is just cranking them things out. And that is not going to be the end of it, bro. Wow. I'm conflicted about the whole thing. Like, I understand it's kind of like a revolutionary boom, just like with factories and textile work and a bunch of other stuff. Like, human labor over time stops becoming more and more of a requirement. But, the humans aren't going to go away. Gotta help them out a little bit. And there's that thing with UBI, Universal Basic Income, that I think one guy ran on some years ago in the US. What was his name? Andrew Yang? Yeah. He got really popular off stuff like that. And then Elon Musk, a really controversial character as well, also talked about UBI being a necessary thing. Yeah, he's crazy, but at least he's kind of smart. I think that will be a necessary thing, right? Anyways, That was Glacier's thoughts on something random like AI actors. Maybe I will talk about the potential of a new internet and the rise. Anyway, you may or may not see me anytime soon. I'm not gonna lie, I am not a very consistent guy who posts. But till then, if you do want to keep up eventually, go ahead and subscribe to your boy. Leave a like for your boy. And I'll catch you later. Peace! And stay frosty.